Greetings friends, and welcome to another video on this YouTube channel. I know it has been a couple of weeks, but it's just, I had just been really busy, and I couldn't dedicate much time to prepare videos. But today I have something that I hope it will be interesting for you. As you know, for years, I don't know, maybe a decade pretty much, I had been writing about Zimbra. I even worked for Zimbra inside the company for a few years. There it was really amazing. The project, the product, the Zimbra collaboration itself, it's still one of my favorites open source projects. It's been used, it's still being used by millions of users really around the world. That they decide that the privacy and the data sovereignty of the emails needs to be on their own on-prem or on their own servers or under their own control instead of more software as a service, let's say, which is perfectly fine. It just whatever it suits you, right? So today I'm really excited to discuss about something, a project that it's been on my radar since it was announced. I think it was at a Red Hat conference not that long ago in 2021, but finally the GA of the project, the GA of the project, which still is on the early stages. It has been around the latest days of December 2021, early days of 2022, and I'm talking about Zextras Carbonio. So what is Zextras Carbonio? If we go to the website, we can quickly see over here that Zextras Carbonio Community Edition is the free and open source email and collaboration software, which consists of email, contacts, calendars, chat and video chats, file management, focus on data sovereignty, and so on. It is completely free. Of course, if we are using the Community Edition, all of these languages are already included within the product. They take as well translations for volunteers if you want. You can contribute to the documentation. You can do absolutely everything that you can imagine. Looks really fresh as per the image that we can find on the zextras.com. So it looks extremely fresh, and we can deploy it within our own service, which it is even better and much more exciting, of course. So I'm going to discuss for today on this. It would be 30 minutes video, I guess, more or less. I just want to discuss about the Community Edition itself, which is the free edition that we can download. It does not have any limits as far as I can see. I know that Zextras is going to announce soon. I cannot find it just yet on the website. The Zextras Carbonio itself, the kind of more enterprise product project, and I guess that will include more enterprise functionalities within it. And when that it will be more available and I will have more information, I will of course just prepare another video about it and discussing the differences with you about the different between Community Edition and the paid edition. So now that I requested here my Community Edition, it's time to go to my email, which is curious because of course for my personal domain that I just have one account, I'm just using the Office 365 because I don't have any data, and at the end for one account for the price, it's what it suits me once again. But it is really simple. As you can see over here, they even prepared for us images for VMware, which they are consist on Ubuntu 20.04 or 18.04, which is really nice. Hats off to the guys at Zextras to give us for giving us these images already built in for VMware. But anyways, I'm going to use the vanilla way of doing it just with Ubuntu 20.04, so you see it step by step how you can do it in VMware, on the cloud, wherever you want. So first things on VMware is just create a new virtual machine, and from here deploy from template. I'm going to use my own Ubuntu 20.04 template, so I don't need to go and show you again the installation of the basics, the operating system. I'm going to put it under infrastructure, and then on this ESXi host, you can choose on the ESXi host that you want, of course. Just put it here on the NVMe, data store default, and then Let's take a look at the resources of this template. 16 gigabytes of RAM, 4 virtual CPUs. This is perfectly fine for the community edition for a few users. And then hard disk, you will need more hard disk probably. Under new device, you will need to add more drives into the VM. But anyways, just to give it a quick try, this is more than enough. Okay, so the VM template, it's deploying just from my Ubuntu 20.04 template that I prepared not that long ago. Zextras has announced, they say on the website that they will support CentOS or Rocky Linux or Red Hat or Rocky Linux really soon. I remember seeing at the beginning that it was just a Red Hat version at the beginning, but for some reason I cannot find it anymore, and now everything has switched into Ubuntu 20.04 and 18.04, which is okay. So if you are heavy users of Red Hat, you will need to wait a bit until these packages are ready for Red Hat. But I guess there will be a level very soon. My VM, it has been created, so we should be able to find it here. So under my vSphere client. So if I go into my Zextras Carbonio and then I boot up this VM, I will need to do all of the operating systems preparations about DNS, about network interfaces, about everything. And I'm going to do all of that with you here on the video, because I understand those are always the tricky part to configure any email server. So let's go ahead and do this together in pretty much in live, in the video, step by step. So as you can see, my template, it has just local host. It does not have any IP by default. It just have DHCP. That's my template. And from here, you can just do whatever you need. So first things first, as per usual, just try to log in on the. Let's try to log in into the image, into this VM. I'm just accessing directly through the VMware console. But again, if you have KVM, if you have Overt, if you have Promox or Proxmox, whatever you have, or if you deploy in the cloud, exactly the same. So you log in. Because this template is really vanilla, so it does not have anything, I will need to do everything from scratch. So first things, I think the IP configuration, it will be one of the good first steps. And as you can see, I have the DHCP4 here. So let's put here false, and then let's put here right now, and let me go here. So this needs to be addresses, and then in the addresses you can either just do an enter, so you go to another line, or in the same line you can just use the this format over here. So the IP will be 192.168.1.11, and then 24, that's the net masks. Now for the gateway, exactly the same. You can just go here and then put it on one single line. Gateway 4, by the way, because I'm using still IPv4 on my lab internally. For the name servers, you need to go to another line, and then addresses. And for now, this DNS server is okay. If you have internal DNS, please use your internal DNS. Net plan apply, and now IPA. I will see here my IP. It has been configured, and I have access to the internet, which is really cool. And even through DNS as well, through FQDN, which is always important. That's good. That is all very good. Now, first, the next stuff, it's configure the DC host. So I just need to edit this this host name for the 127.0.1.1, which is kind of pretty much local host, but local machine as well. And then create a new one, a new line with my IP, my fully qualified domain, and my host name once again. Okay, and now finally, one of the things that we need to do is as well set the host name of this operating system of this server. So that is as simple as sudo, if I don't remember, okay, sudo host name and ctl set host name, and just the host name that you want, which is Carbonio in my case. And why not, probably now that we have everything ready, it's good time to do a reboot. So we have all the IP, we have all the DNSs, we have all the host name, everything should be ready and prepared. You need to follow something like this if you're installing Zimbra by default, or if you're installing this new Zextras Carbonio, because Carbonio it's really based, the modules behind is Zimbra, so you need to do this really nice. If not, it will fail later on. Okay, now let's do an apt-get update and maybe upgrade. I think I have the 2004.3, which is really recent at the time of recording the video, so I guess I do not need to do anything extra, anything additional. Probably not much packages. Oh, some packages here, some Python libraries. Okay, that's okay. Small things, why not? Always good to do it now, or you can do it later on as well if you prefer. Good. Now let's go and install dnsmasq. And dnsmasq, what it allows you, it's to have your own local DNS server here within your own Ubuntu. And it failed. You can see that in red, very red. It's failing because Ubuntu 20.04 it has already an embedded DNS cache service. So we're going to disable that later on, but for now let's go and edit the configuration. We need this configuration over here that I'm showing you on the screen: server, domain, host record, MX host, and the address. I guess the address and the host record, they're similar, so you can maybe delete the address if you want, but it needs to look something similar to like this your dnsmasq configuration. Okay, so you can see that the server, the domain, host record, MX host, and with this we can just go and delete the address because we don't really need it for this version of dnsmasq. And finally, now we need to disable the dnsmasq embed, which is systemd. You can see that is running the systemctl status systemd resolved, and what we need to do is just disable it. Well, first stop it and then disable it so that does not collide with our dnsmasq. Okay, that's good. That's all done. It's disabled. Now finally we can just go and enable the dnsmasq, and moreover start the dnsmasq, so we can finally have the dnsmasq answering our domain, which is the jorgedelacruz.es, and it's going to auto resolve with the parameters that we configure on the dnsmasq.conf. Hopefully that's clear. Let me know if not in the comments. I've done it many times, so for me it's really clear, but if it's the first time, it might be tricky. Let's do a dig mx jorgedelacruz.es. It's replying locally to the carbonio.jorgedelacruz.es, and moreover we can see the additional section which is with the IP, and dig to the carbonio.jorgedelacruz.es. It replies to the IP as well. Now, okay, ping is working fine. It is time now to, I will recommend it to you, maybe you do this through SSH instead of do all of these steps manually, but now, so it's just really adding the Zextras repositories for the Ubuntu version that you're using. So if you're using 20.04, these are the commands that I'm adding at the moment. If you have 18.04, you need to add the other line that you can find on your emails. And once again, this is just adding into the apt repositories the Zextras repository. So that's good. I was just looking on the other screen to all of this, but maybe through SSH it will be much easier. This needs to be apt key adv and then minus key server. And as you can see here, just follow please the HKB, but yes, please follow the email that you will receive from Zextras, so you copy paste and you will not make any mistakes. keyserver.ubuntu.com, then colon 80, and then minus resv keys, and then now this long sort of unique ID for this keys. Not practical to do it typing. 100% do it. Please do it through SSH. Well, as you can see, I even make the mistake, which is not apt-get, it's just apt-key directly. Good. Now, what we can do is just trigger another apt-get update and upgrade. There you go. And with this, now we can just go and hit the command, which is as simple as apt-get install Carbonio CE on my case. And now let's click yes. It's a few gigabytes. I'm going to accelerate the process of the installation because it took me a few minutes to complete all of this. But anyways, it was really automated, and I was really surprised that it worked. It worked this nice. Now the second command is just Carbonio -bootstrap, and that will prepare all the packages. And as you can see, it's pretty much the same as the Zimbra installation, so it's even using the same architecture and everything, you know. So even the DNS server as well. So you just need to create the domain. Just put your own domain, which it will be, in my case, jorgedelacruz.es. And now, if I click enter, that's everything I need to do as a part of the bootstrap. Remember, this is not carbonio.jorgedelacruz.es. This is not an FQDN itself. This is just the domain. And as you see, I do not need to add any other step. You remember that in Zimbra you need to put the admin password and maybe we can configure other stuff. On this Carbonio, it's just already, everything is ready, and we can click yes to continue, or just click enter, and it will do it for you. But yeah, let's click yes. And once again, this will take, I don't know, it will take the time that it needs to finish the installation of the Carbonio CE, which again is pretty much based on the whole Zimbra core, the Jetty, how the mails are stored, how the calendar and everything, without very beautiful and more layers that still I do not understand because they are not in the documentation. But Zextras has had a really complex and fully loaded layer on top with a lot of modules. One of it, of course, it's the more visual one, which you will see in a minute, which is the whole GUI by itself. And I think as well that Zextras has added already the chat as well, the video conferencing, and the documents as well. But as I'm saying, the documentation at the moment, it's not that fully loaded. So all of this is what I can see from the packages and from the ports that are open and so on. Hopefully we will see full documentation on the different components, how to interact with them very soon. So I think if you have used Zimbra before, this process right now, it's very, very similar and very familiar to you. Just adding all of these things into the LDAP, preparing the mailboxes, creating the SSL certificates, and so on and so forth. After it finishes, you can see that it's starting the servers already, and then after start the servers within the simplets as well. As you can see, the simplets and everything is very, very similar to Zimbra. Finally, we will go into the final stage of the installation, which says configuration complete. Press return to exit. You can take a look into the log that it has been created under under temp CM setup, you'll be able to check what happened over there. Now, okay, so we can click press return to exit. And one more step that we need to do, because it's not part of the bootstrap, but of course, if you remember Zimbra, you need to do this as a part of the configuration. But on this Carbonio, for now, you need to add it post installation. So this post installation, the command that we need to do, it's quite simple, and you will probably remember it from Zimbra anyways. So we need to do su minus Zextras, and inside we need to do the cmprof and then set password for the user Zextras at my domain, jorgedelacruz.es. We need to add the password that we want. On my case, quick and simple, just Carbonio 2022. That will be enough for now, just to keep it a quick spin. Very good. So we are ready. Now what we can do is just go to another web browser, to a new web browser, put the IP or put the FQDN. If the FQDN is already resolved, we have a really nice splash image over here with a robot of Carbonio and everything. So we can just log in now with the Zextras at jorgedelacruz.es, and of course just add the introduce the password. It auto detect that I have the dark theme on my browser on Chrome, so it just already showing it to me the dark interface, which is quite nice, quite fresh. I do prefer it depending of how it's done and the service and so on. So I have a couple of stuff that I have in dark, and others that I have just in normal one, you kind of just light. Okay, so let me send an email to myself. The text on the text box, do you see what I mean? It's not properly, you cannot read it at the moment because it's just in black, and yeah, you cannot read the text that you're typing at the moment. So for that reason, the dark themes, depending on the application, can be a bit clunky. So when you try to add files, you can add them from local, for drive, and so on. And the email, it has been sent, as we can see over there, message sent. The interface is really fresh. It is really fast, as you can see. I guess this might be responsive, I can imagine, but it doesn't really matter, because on the mobile phone you have the native applications anyways for Carbonio, which is in beta, as you can see, still there on the top on the logo. Okay, so we have here all the application versions, so the mail, calendar, and so on. Now we click save and reload because I've been messing around. What else we have on mails? We have some preferences here for mails, and calendars as well. Some good stuff over here in contacts as well. Finally, in out, we can have password, or we can have exchange of tickets, have OTP authentication as well. A lot of different authentication options. And well, I cannot see the email just yet, but it's here on send, so I will need to check later on my services what's happening on there. Now, finally, I guess that the most interesting stuff, it will be as well take a look into the admin console, how we can create new domains, new users, expand the cluster, add maybe more mailbox servers, and so on. And if we log in into the colon 7071 Carbonio admin, this is pretty much the Zimbra admin console. So as you can see, you can do everything that you are used to because it's the same console still. I guess this will change soon and it will be much fresh and new, but for now it's just reusing all the open source code from Zimbra. So into accounts, you can create accounts or aliases, distribution list, and so on. Class of services, more domains, more servers. Into the settings, we can take a look absolutely into everything that you are used to for your normal Zimbra administration, right? So I think that with this quick round of demo about the Carbonio, how to install it, how to access the administration console. I hope this gives you a good overview of this new product, this new project, this new open source project, which is pretty much taking the years and years of knowledge and really solid product, which is Zimbra, and then grabbing and putting that into the next step, which is adding another open source layer for the web interface, that was missing on the latest Zimbra 9, and so on. Which it was really unfortunate that all the work about the new UI, it's just for paid customers, and of course now this project resolves that, because it's grabbing everything that is good from Zimbra, grabbing it into a new completely project called Carbonio, and adding that interface, that GUI, which of course it's as well open source. So that's really exciting. Before I go, I just wanted to show you something really important. So all of this is of course an open source project, so I recommend you to go to community.zextras.com, into the forums and into the Carbonio section, so you can take a look into the threads over here, add your own threads, reply, feedback, comments, and so on. They are going to be really valuable and really important for the project moving forward. So I think the Carbonio, it will be my default email server moving forward, at least internally, for my own internal projects, that I have a few notifications and a few virtual machines doing things here internally that they send SMTP, and I will appreciate notifications into like a local server, and it will be my mail server, so I can see it growing from where it is at the moment, and I can provide feedback on the go. So hopefully this video is useful for you, and if that's so, yes, please give thumbs up and leave some comments. Thank you, and see you on another video. Bye.